What's going on, everyone? It's Abdallah here, bringing you guys the ultimate post-game guide for Monster Hunter Wilds. Now, of course, this is spoiler alert. If you don't want to know what happens after you beat the main story, then definitely go play the game a little bit, roll the credits, and then come back to this video. Those of you guys that have already beaten the game or you don't care about that, then continue watching. You guys are great. Anyway, we're going to showcase the top 10 things that you can do after you beat the main story in Monster Hunter Wilds. There's a lot to do, and the game is never ending, but it's great to showcase exactly what there is available. So if you like this video and it helped you out, be sure to smash that like button and share the video with a friend. We've got lots more coming. So the first thing you want to do after beating the game and rolling credits is going straight back into the game and seeing what the story mode entails. By doing so, you'll unlock Chapter 4 onwards. Now, you'll see over here that there's going to be even more things that you can do, such as talking to Olivia. There's some new ecosystems on board, such as capturing Yankut Ku and surveying the Scarlet Forest. As you can see over here on screen, you can go all the way through Chapter 4-2, Chapter 4-3, Chapter 5-1, 5-2, 5-3, and then of course you can go all the way up until 6-1. There's a lot of main story quests that are going to be available for you over there, so I highly suggest jumping back into the game and then seeing what the main characters have to say. Number 2 on our list of things to do in post-game is going to be checking out all of the optional quests. Now, if you're a gamer like me and you just really like focusing on the main story, you can definitely take a look at what other people have to say. If you go over to completed quests over here, you can see that there are going to be tons of different optional quests from different NPCs all throughout the game. Now, these optional quests, of course, you don't have to do them, but by doing so, you're going to unlock even more help from various NPCs. And that also being said, if you head on over to Alma, wherever she's at, she's usually just walking around. If you head on over to Alma, you'll notice that if you take a look at your assignments, these are the main story ones. If you take a look at optional quests over here and press your L3 in, you can actually see them all as a list. Now, every single one of these over here have a check mark on them simply because I've went through and I have beaten them. It took like 5 or 6 minutes to do each of these guys. But so go over here, and by unlocking and beating all these quests and getting the check marks over here, you're going to unlock different conditions with various NPCs all throughout the game that may help you out. A specific one is, helping out with your cat, right? Your cat Palico can do it. Over here, Nata, for example, he's the village intermediary in post-game. Material retrieval is a huge thing. There are 5 NPC characters within the game in different areas of the world, and if you take care of their optional quests, they're going to be able to gather whatever you want. Honey is always a thing that I need in the game in order to craft mega potions. So you can see over here that in this game, you're going to be able to use all of those NPCs to find all sorts of items for you over here. So absolutely good. This guy gave me so many honeys just by hanging out. We're going to keep on getting honeys from him. Apar gives you a whole bunch of things. We have Plum Peach over here. I have even more honey. And then the last person, which is Sabar. I love getting the flash bugs from him so that we can use that to craft some flash pods. So ultimately, going through the smaller optional quests is very imperative, especially if you want Nata to be able to grab all of those different items from you. Number 3 on our list of things to do in post-game is going to be crafting high-rank armor. Yes, of course, we've been waiting for this. Now, all of the armor that you use in main game, of course, you can use it, but there's going to be better armor available for you. So head on over to Forge and upgrade armor. If you take a look at the top area over here, you can switch from low rank to high rank. High rank has a lot more availability, a lot more customs, and with that being said, you're going to get a lot more defense from them. So if you take a look over here, Guardian Arkveld is pretty much the biggest endgame armor that you can get, but of course there's going to be a lot more available to you depending on which monsters you go through and fight within high rank. Now, of course, as you know, if you already craft a piece of armor, let's say this Guardian Arkveld, for example, and you want to boost its defense even more, you're definitely going to need to click on upgrade and use all of your armor spheres in order to do so. As you can see over here on screen, in order to get this thing to level 7, where I'm going to need 10,000 additional points. And as you can see, I've got a lot over here with these hard armor spheres. So I'm going to use those. We're going to upgrade just like this. Spend 20,000, and if I wanted to upgrade it one more time to max it out, of course it's asking for another 10,000. So I'm going to do a 5,000 with the heavy armor sphere. I'm going to do another 5 in this way, and there you have it. We've gone through, and just by doing that, it gives me a +2 on defense for that specific armor. Now, of course, if I want to jump in over here, I could do the exact same thing and just level up my the armor that I'm really using in end game. So when you're going through and choosing whatever armor you want, just really take a look at all the different skills that are available as you get them, and then build it based off of what weapon you have. And of course, skills are going to be amazing in the game. So take a look at all the different skills that are available to you in each of these pieces, pick and choose whatever you want so that you can have those skills available. Number 4 on our list is going to be crafting high rank weapons. Yes, of course. We now know that the skill trees for all of our weapons are available. So for example, we take a look at longsword. If you've been paying attention in the main game, you'll notice that there really wasn't a lot that you can do. But now that you've beaten the game, you can upgrade these weapons even further to a rank rarity 6, and you can even go all the way up to a rank rarity 8. Potentially finding all of these different items within the game. Now, the Arkveld is going to be one of the ones that's probably the strongest within the game with a rarity 8 over here. Absolutely love that weapon, but of course it takes a lot of different high rank materials in order to get it. So going through, taking a look at what you can forge by clicking on the R1, you can see all these different things that you can forge over here. Or of course you can look at the upgrade list as well. So go over to the weapon tree, find out which of these high rank weapons you want, and based on their equipment skills, yeah, I would say go through, grab anything. Maybe you want something that induces sleep, or something that induces a little bit of paralysis, or Dragon Elemental is very good against a lot of the monsters in endgame, so the Arkveld tree is also really great. Here's a water weapon, here's a fire weapon, an ice weapon, endgame, rarity 8. There's a lot of things going on over here, so take a look at it, and then go through. If you press the triangle, you can click on Add to Wish List over here. And once you have things in the wish list, you can find out which quests give those specific items, in order to grab them and then craft them in the future. All right, number 5 on our list is going to be messing around with the Artian Weapons. Now, this is going to be the true end game grind for you, because like we've talked about in the previous point, you can go over here and make any kind of weapon you want in the game that's kind of available for you, but you're kind of reduced to the slots. The slots right over here, if you take a look at equipment info, the very first one has 3 slots, the second one has 2, and the last one has 1. So you're kind of stuck with a 3-2-1 when it comes to decorations and gems. Now here's where the cool part is. It's all about the Artian Weapons. Now if you take a look over here, it's going to be a new material that you're going to be receiving in your high rank quests. You'll be able to see all these different kinds of broken blades, broken blades for obviously the swords and different things for other weapons. But for example, we can see over here with a broken blade, if I'm trying to make a longsword, it has a lot of different elemental types, water, thunder, ice, dragon, poison, all of that stuff. And then with the Artian bonus, there's either going to be the attack infusion where it gives a +5 attack, or we can go affinity infusion where you're going to get even more affinity, which helps boost your critical hits. So for example, if I want to make a blade, a longsword, which is going to be made out of blast elemental with a little bit of attack infusion, I would go ahead and grab this one. For the next thing, you're going to need 2 tubes for it. Of course, you're going to grab a whole bunch of these. Since that's an attack fusion, we want to give maybe a little bit more affinity, give it some more crit chance, because I've got a crit build with my longsword. So I'm going to give it a crush tube with blast. And then right over here, you can add another tube if you want to. I want to make sure that I match up all the different elementals so I get an elemental bonus on it. But right over here, if I go with either an attack fusion, it'll, as you can see, it gives a little bit more attack. It boosts it all the way up to 660. But if I give it the affinity infusion, it's going to make it 15%. And 15% is amazing. So I'm going to go for the affinity. You can go through and forge this right over this way. Boom, there's 10,000. And now we have the Dimensius, rarity 8. Now, the great thing about this weapon is that you can indeed upgrade this even further. So go over here to reinforce and dismantle Artian Weapons. You can take a look over here and see that my brand new Blast Dimensius is right on board. And you can see the decorations are going to be 3, 3, and 3 offensive. So that's highly customizable, arguably more customizable than what you can get if you craft the weapons within the main game. So I absolutely love that idea that you can put level 3 decorations in all of these slots. And if you want to rank this up even further, you're going to need the Orichalcite, the Speclites, the Argosites, or the Derisites. This is going to be a great way of boosting it even further. As you can see over here, we don't have too many of them, but as I'm going to be going through grinding, every level that you give it, you can see there's 5 levels possible that require 3,000 points. If you reinforce it, you're going to get a reinforcement bonus. So let's show you that right now. Here we go. I'm going to spend 2,000 and the question marks are going to reveal an element boost 50. And that is so good because if we're trying to make a blast weapon, we just got an element boost of 50 on this bad boy, as you can see right over here. So since we matched all 3 of the blasts within the sword, the tube, and the tube, we got the plus 30. And then right over here, we got an element boost. So now that's 80 element total. So for a grand total of 200 over this way. So that's going to be really, really awesome. Now, of course, as you're grinding through the game and you find more of this Orichalcite, you can actually go to the forge within the area. Let me show you where that's at. So you go over here, go to your menu or the map. Let me get rid of all these little pop-ups. Here we go. So go to the map. You can head on over to the Oil Well Basin right over this way, and you can go to Azuz the Everforge. Now, Azuz the Everforge, this is where you're going to get all of the materials that you want to use for upgrading your Artian weapons. And I'll show you exactly where that's at, right over this way. So we're over here in Azuz. I'm going to open up the menu, and we're going to show you that if you zoom in, you want to be able to head right over to the forge. It's right around here. Yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look. This is the quest counter. Oh, here we are. Yeah, we are right there. The smelting foundry. So we're going ahead and make that our waypoint. Coming on over this way. So simple. It's right around the corner. And this is where you're going to get all of those materials. So this is smelting foundry. We want to be able to smelt ore or smelt for armor spheres. In case you need more armor spheres, you can absolutely do that. But we're going to smelt for ore. Now, the Orichalcite is going to be the one that gives a lot of the boost to the Artian weapons. Go ahead and click on all of that, and then you'll be able to see every single one of your 28 plus pages of materials that you collected all throughout your hunts. And you could simply sacrifice all that stuff in order to make the Orichalcite needed in order to grab it. Like this one right over here, this Ajarakan Medulla is worth 500. So if I go ahead and get all 4 of these, maybe I'll just save 1 in case I need it for a piece of gear. So if I go ahead and do that, it's easy. We can smelt 5 items, boom. So here we go. As you can see, I have 5 Orichalcite for doing that, which is huge when it comes to upgrading Artian weapons. So end game is going to be, hey, if you don't want any of your random materials that you collected all throughout your hunts, sacrifice them for all these Orichalcites, and then boost your chances to grab some really, really cool rolls on the Artian weapon. All right, number 6 on our list is going to be crafting and upgrading your talisman within the game. Now, talismans are going to be something that you can use as like a cherry on top of your entire armor. Honestly, it'll help you out with giving you maybe +2 of whatever skill you're looking for. So for example, over here, if you're looking at adding some different things to your build to help out with, I don't know, whatever you're looking at. Let's say, for example, for me, if I took a look at the sheath charm, for example, right over here, I'm a longsword user. I always use the quick sheath ability, but none of my gear slots or my gems on my armor have the opportunity to give me +2 or level 2 quick sheath. So you can come over here and you can see exactly what's available for it, and then you can add it to your entire list. The forge list for Talisman is really huge. Not every single one of the abilities in the game is here, but a lot of them are. Like Evade Extender is really awesome. Evade Window's really great for running around. Belayer is so good. I absolutely love that skill. But anyway, take a look at this over here. Grab one of these charms, a level 1, go ahead and forge it, and then head on over and then upgrade it to a level 2 in order to give yourself even more. And then once you do so, you can go over to your equipment and then see on the very bottom over here, I have an exploiter charm, which gives me weakness exploit, 2 levels of it, which really helps out with my entire build of, let me take a look. Can we see my build? Yeah, here we go. So weakness exploit, I have a total of level 4 on that entirely, where half of it is just on this talisman over here. So anyway, look at talismans, see if you can craft them with all of the leftover materials that you may have. All right, number 7 on our list is going to be crafting gear for your Palico friend. Of course, he's going to be helping you out all throughout the game, so you might as well show him some love right over this way. Now, as you notice, we have a whole bunch of low rank armors within the game that you can go ahead and craft. Now, if you take a look in high rank after you beat the game, you can go ahead and craft a whole bunch of other things. The Arkveld stuff is probably the best gear in the game that you can give him, so I would highly suggest doing that. Now, honestly, the gear and the weapons don't matter too much, because he has infinite health and he'll just bail you out. One of the biggest things of upgrading your Palico is if you ever see your Palico having like a little text bubble over his head at camp for a side quest and he's looking to help you grab an item, highly suggest doing that, because as you do more quests for your Palico, you can see over here that the entire repertoire of items and weapons and skills that he can do are going to be here for you. So you definitely want that, because you never know when some of these things are going to help you out, such as like the flash fly cage has been super helpful. He sets up a cage and then you can just literally flash your enemies with a blinding light. One of the other ones that was totally end game was called a Vigor Wasp Revival, and this bailed me out like 1 or 2 times within the game. So if you ever lose all of your health, you usually get carted back to camp. But this time, he'll actually come over and revive you with a Vigor Wasp and you get full health. Now, it's pretty rare when it happens, but when it does, it is amazing. So don't neglect all of the side quests involved with upgrading your Palico. Number 8 on our list of things to do in post-game is going to be grinding for jewels and decorations. Yeah, now in every Monster Hunter game, you're going to need a lot of these jewels to put onto your different weapons and your armor in order to give yourself even more skills that'll completely deck you out. Now you'll see over here that I've got a bow set up right over here with a little bit of critical hit, a little bit of flare, weakness exploit. In case you guys are curious of what all of those different skills are, you can always go into the sub menu and then take a look at what they actually say and what they do whenever you hover over them. So your main job right now is to completely deck out your armor so that it matches and synergizes with what you want to do in your hunts. For example, if you're rocking longsword, using sheath jewels is going to be helping you out with quick sheath, right? Growth jewel totally helps you out with long end game quests, right? Using attack jewel just boosts your attack all the way through. Expert jewel, you've got critical jewel that boosts your critical hits. There's so many things that you can do in the game in order to deck out your entire set. So the only way that you're going to go through and getting all these different jewels is heading through and doing all sorts of quests. If you can see over here, you can hover over a quest and you can see every single one of these monsters has some sort of like jewel on them, right? The blue ones are different rarity, the tan ones, the white ones are different rarity over here. You really want to focus on the ones like right over here on screen. The Tempered Rathalos has a yellow looking one, and that's going to be your best jewel because it's going to be a level 3 that you absolutely want. Now, every single one of these jewels is going to be divided this time around into offensive and defensive jewels. This is actually new to the Monster Hunter series, and I'm honestly not the biggest fan of it, but you can see over here, if you take a look at all of the weapons, there's going to be a house for the smaller jewels with a sword next to it. So those are going to be offensive jewels. You can't put a sword element or a sword jewel on top of your armor, unfortunately, in this time around, and vice versa. You can't put an armor jewel onto your weapon. So when it comes down to it, you really only have 3 slots for offensive jewels per weapon right over this way. So keep that in mind. Anyway, if you guys are curious as to like how to get even more jewels in the game outside of hunts, head on over to your map. Go on over this way to Suja Peaks of Accord. You've unlocked this area through the main story. And once you go over here, you're going to be able to get a lot more different jewels within the game. And that'll definitely help you out. So come on over this way, turn around, and you can see this, this person right over here, Vio. You're going to use the melding pot. Now, Wyverian melding is going to be where, hey, in case you wanted a specific level 3 or rarity 6 golden one that's offensive, you can click on this and then sacrifice all sorts of your other jewels or other items within the game in order to force make one. Now, as soon as it opens up, it's random, so keep that in mind. Now, relics. This is where you can actually get even more of the relics that we talked about for Artian Weapons. And then melding decorations. This is where we can actually pick and choose whatever we want. Now, I'm currently like hunter rank like 80 something. Once you hit hunter rank 100, you can actually get the level 2 versions of these jewels. So there's something to work for in the game. But if I wanted even more critical boost, and that's a jewel that I want and I don't want to rely on random drops, I can absolutely click on this one right over here. I get a level 1, and then it's just going to cost me, you know, 20 or so points in order to meld it. So keep that in mind. If you're looking at specifically customizing all the jewels that you want, there's offensive ones, there's defensive ones. The decorations and jewels are going to be your best bet right over here next to Vio. Keep that in mind. Number 9 on our list is going through and practicing with a brand new weapon. Now, honestly, I've packed in over 60 hours into Monster Hunter, and it seems like I'm getting a little bit burnt out of just using the same longsword, right? So what I've been doing more recently is kind of learning how to use the bow and essentially having another backup weapon that I'm equally proficient with. So if you guys didn't know already, you can go over to the menu, you can head on over to this training area in the corner over here, and you can really bring any weapon you want. Head on over, take a look at all of the different moves that show up on screen over here, and really let her rip. Now, if you're curious about what moves and what weapons do what, really go over to Play Guide, go over to your weapon controls, and then choose one of these 14 weapons and really get an understanding of what they do. For example, like if I'm learning how to use bow, you can click into this and really get some visuals on what the game expects you to do with the different moves. You've got charge, aim and focus, quick shot, we got power shot, we got arc shot, we got charging sidestep. We've got some dragon piercers, and if you press the shoulder buttons right over this way, you can see it gives you a little bit more explanation on how the weapon works. Hey, there's a trick arrow gauge, there's tracers and tracking arrows, there's coding types. And then right over here, it gives you a list of different combos that are your bread and butter moves that you want to do in a specific hunt. So if you're feeling like you're bored and you've already mastered, let's say your main weapon and maybe a little bit of a secondary, I would say highly suggest coming over here and learning a brand new weapon, because you never know if you're going to vibe with a weapon that's even better than what you currently know. And last but not least, in Monster Hunter Wilds, your last tip for post-game is going to be doing the end game grind and helping people out. Now, of course, if you take a look at Alma right over this way, you can connect online and play with others simply by clicking right over here. You can go into a recommended lobby that's going to pair you up with a whole bunch of random people. If you wanted to search for a specific lobby, you can use a lobby ID search and find some of your friends. You can find your squad, you can find a hunter friend and all of that stuff over here. Of course, if you wanted to just jump in and do a private lobby, you can do so, or you can just jump into online single player. Now, once you do, it's going to be pretty easy to go and help out others. If you wanted to look inside your lobby and see what people were up to, you can see that, hey, heads up, this person right over here named Area, Hunter rank 40, is working on a a quest that slay all target monsters right over here. That's awesome. So if I wanted to, I could jump in and go help them out. Right over here, Sir Panfred, Hunter rank 18, is working on, this smaller quest, Hunt 2 Hirabami. If I wanted to jump in and help them out, there you go. It's great because that's what Monster Hunter is all about. It's all about helping others. So those are people in your lobby. If you decided to link with people, you can actually jump in and find their quests. Or if people sent out SOSs, you can kind of target to see what kind of SOS flare is available and then potentially go bail these people out or help them out or, just have a great time along the way. You can see over here that back Hunter rank 33 sent out an SOS flare. Hey, whoever wants to come over here and help me out with Tempered Deshagama, I'm in for it. Right over here, Gormagala. It looks like Sakura Miko needs some help. So they sent out an SOS flare, and you can just easily do that. So that's really what the end game is all about in Monster Hunter. You're going to be using all of these 10 points, especially learning a new weapon and going into battle and helping out the rest of the community with all of their hunts so that they can get their different high rank armor, high rank Artian weapons, all their talismans, gear for Palicos, jewels, and etc. So fun. Anyway, that's going to be it for all 10 things that you need within the game. All right, friends, that's everything you need to know about the post game in Monster Hunter Wilds. Now, don't mind me, I'm just gonna go over here and help back out online because it's always fun to just jump in and hunt. Now, if you guys have any questions or anything like that regarding Monster Hunter Wilds, I would absolutely love to hear from you guys. What do you guys do in the post game? Do you guys go through and craft all the weapons just like we're doing right over here? Or have you figured out something else? Please let me know in the comments, and then I will be there to help you guys in some hunts in the near future. As usual, if you like what you see over here and want to see even more Monster Hunter, please feel free to hit that like button and subscribe for even more. We'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.